Okay, the best decision I ever made was going to the fire station to take pictures for the very first time. In Rowlett, where I'm from, we did Relay for Life all the time. So one year we made a calendar with firefighters and cancer survivors. And since I'm a cancer survivor, I went ahead and took pictures with them, and it was awesome. So when we first got to the fire station, I wasn't sure how it was going to work because, I mean, firefighters are cool and all, but, I mean, I wasn't really into it then. And so we got to the fire station, and they had backed the ambulance up and the fire truck up, and they're like, okay, we're going to take pictures. And there was probably about 20 of us there. Half were firefighters, half were just other survivors and just people participating. So the first time we started taking pictures, and they put me on the front of the fire truck, and it was really awesome. But I was standing there, and I decided I was going to act like a total goofball the entire time because it's always a fun thing to do. And so I was standing there, and right before they were about to take the picture, I was like, wait! Like, what do I do with my hands? And then, like, everyone started laughing because, you know, I was just standing there, like, looking retarded. And so, like, they all started laughing. So finally I decided to, like, pose it on the mirror of the fire truck, and it was, you know, pictures turned out well. So we started taking more pictures and more pictures, and then they were like, oh, Alyson, you should go ask them if you can wear, you know, the fire suit. And I was like, oh, okay. Instead of calling it a fire suit, I went ahead and called it a costume because I wanted to see their reaction. So I ran over there to the fire guys, and I was like, hey, can we take some pictures of me in y'all's costume? And they were like, a costume? And they're like, we don't wear costumes. And I was like, well, right, but can I wear it anyway? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I went ahead and I put on the full outfit, you know, the bunker gear, the helmet. And they're like, oh, do you want the air pack? And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, I want the whole thing. And so they put the air pack on my back. And they were like, but it's really heavy. And I was like, okay. So one guy was like standing behind me holding the air pack up, and then I was like, wait, what are you doing? And I started like doing circles, and so he had to follow me, and the other guys were laughing. And they were like, and I was like, let go. I was like, I can handle it. And so they like slowly put it down on my back and like let go. And I was like, okay, this isn't bad. This isn't bad at all. And so they were like, oh, you should get on the side of the fire truck, you know, hold on like you see in like pictures and stuff. And I was like, okay, I can totally do that. So I walked over there, but I forgot that I had this air pack on my back. So when I stepped up, I started to fall backwards because the air pack was heavier than I was. So like 2 or 3 guys like ran over there, and they like grabbed me or whatever and like helped me up onto the side of the fire truck. And then like I turned around, and 2 of them were still standing there, and I was like, I got this, y'all don't need to stay here. And so like all the other guys were laughing, so the 2 guys like walk away, and like I took pictures, and first I put my hand on my hip because I didn't know what else to do with it. And then one of the fire guys was like, we don't ever put our hands on our hips. And I was like, oh. So I was like, what do I do with it? So we discovered I'd have it on both, on the handlebar on the side of the fire truck. So these guys probably thought I was crazy and nuts, and it was hysterical the whole time we were there. And so after we got done taking those pictures, one of the guys came up to me, and I didn't realize that he was the captain of the station, so he's in charge of everybody there. And he's like, oh, you should go ask that guy over there if he will give you a ride in the fire truck. And I was like, are you serious? Because I thought he was messing with me because I had been messing with them all day. And I was like, okay. So I ran over to this guy, and I was like, can I have a ride in the fire truck? And he kind of looked at the other guy who told me to ask him, and he was like, sure. And so like I got to go and jump in the shotgun seat. And we went down this neighborhood street, and he's like, you see those 2 pedals on the ground? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, you can push those if you want to. And I was like, okay. And one was the horn, and one was the siren to the fire truck. And so naturally I was like, nah, 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 like off and on the whole time with these like 2 pedals. And it was awesome. And so like we get back to the station, and I hung out with the guys more. And then that's when I realized that the job that was calling me was to be a firefighter. And so now, like ever since then, I've done like multiple ride outs with them like during the year. And like now, like I'm working at the fire school and everything. So like the best decision of my life was to go and take pictures with the firefighters, because I definitely learned what my calling is. That's to be a firefighter. And so it was the best day. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.